Yo, what's up, YouTube? Just wanted to stop in today, give you guys kind of an idea on some progress that you can make within just a week of playing this game. We've been playing closed beta for the week that it's been opened. Some people have absolutely blasted their way to the top of the rankings. You can see like this guy here, this caps out at 10k as far as rewards go. And you can see people have they've reached champion already, which is the highest outside of hitting, I believe, 10k or whatever. These people are master. I'm chilling down in crystal. I haven't really been doing much. People have been climbing the last couple of days while I've been out busy. But I wanted to go over and show you guys. Hey, check out what I've summoned in just a week, guys. Check this out. So this is the first week. Um, I'm gonna wager that the people that are, up there grinding really hardcore, because of the way this game works, the more you PvP, the more cards you will get. So you can just grind and grind and grind. Remember, this is all free to play. This closed beta is just free to play right now, and these people are just grinding these. They're grinding their wins out. But look at this, guys. I've got like 8 legendaries or nat 5s. I've got something like 14 heroic units here. Their cards are pretty difficult to get. When it comes to the legendaries, they're definitely useful straight off the bat. I believe that that's going to be not so much the case later on as we level up our common units a bit more. Let me show you. I am pretty much just missing this bunch of nat 5s here. Uh, yeah. A lot of people, I don't have Wusa or Alicia. A lot of people have been running these two together, and it's really difficult to deal with for my team comp. So I actually did have some struggles there too, because I was running condition damage with Beretta, and people are coming into these matches with like two cleansers and Wusa and an Alicia, and it's just like it can be really tricky. Everyone's guarding against dots and debuffs lately. Let's see if we go card level highest. This is what I want to show you guys. So if you check out the levels just on the bottom right here. We've got Seek at like level 10, Colleen at level 10, Camilla level 10, Bernard level 10, and you can see that they are much easier and quicker to get up to say like level 10 and higher levels because you get more of their cards, right? And I think this is going to play a pretty big part when it comes to say free to players. Like you'll be seeing a lot more people using these kind of common units compared to say people that come into this game, throw down money on diamonds in the shop, and just summon straight off the bat. Now I was pretty lucky when it comes to my summons, right? I suppose. I did quite a bit of relic summons this week, maybe at least 7, I think. But I believe the beta was giving out quite a lot of free crystals. So I don't know how that's going to affect us when it comes to the real game, right? On official release. The mystical summon, I did get a couple legendaries out of that. I think I got my Sierra out of it and my Artamil because I think I did maybe ooh, another 6 or 7 of those as well. Most of my gems went into relic summons. I want to try and compare the two. I kind of feel like I get a lot more shards per monster that's summoned from the relic summon than I do from the mystical summon, is kind of how I came to understand it. And I also spent some crystals on the mana stones. I feel like if you save up 4,500 crystals and buy 100k mana stones at some point, with the way that the game is currently organized, it might actually be worth it. Because, at least early on, because the initial problem that I found with the closed beta is that we just don't have enough mana to both upgrade runes and monsters at the same time. If we come into monsters here, let me see here. We'll just go into Bernard. You can see like his level 11 is going to cost 20,000 mana. I've got 0 mana right now. And if you're summoning new units and you want to swap them in, then you need to obviously level them up as well. But the other problem there is that on top of spell cards that you have to level. It costs mana to level the spell cards as well. Okay, so if I have a look at a higher rank or higher level one here, it costs 5,000. So the cost is the same with the spell cards as it is with the monsters, right? So 5,000 to put this up to a level 9, right? So it'd be like 10,000 for level 10. If we go to the monsters, we have a look at say level 9. It's 10,000 for level 10, right? I only need one more card and I can make him level 10, but regardless, I still need the mana for it. So mana seems to be very, like, they seem to be very stingy when it comes to mana cost. I also think a lot of these monsters need to be balanced as well. It's kind of a detrimental. As well as when it comes to the gameplay aspect of the actual game itself, the counterattack mechanic is, I think it kind of, I feel like they need to figure something else out with it because we've got people just sitting there with units like Alicia here who will, she causes a snowstorm to remove all beneficial harmful effects granted on the enemies and allies and freezes the enemies, right? So people literally just sit there in the game waiting to counterattack with her while the auto attacks are happening. And it's just really dull and boring, in my opinion. Like I want to actively use my skills. I want to take advantage of things like Poseidon that slows down the mana cost and Bernard that speeds up the mana regen. And then you've just got people sitting there just spamming Alicia's skill. If they see a skill coming in that's going to debuff them, put they'll just use Wusa's skill and they just alternate the two. It's really boring, honestly. I've seen teams that are like Wusa, Alicia, and then like another cleanser, and then like the water fairy. If we can find, oh, this one here, this one's really strong. When they get the skill stone, it grants immunity. So it cleanses, grants immunity on all allies after it cleanses or during its cleanse. Really powerful. Soha can steal buffs, but usually you'll just get counterattacked anyway. I've seen people spamming these skills. It's kind of insane that healer cleanse teams are just so powerful in comparison to like damage dealer teams or condition damage based like debuff control based teams. If you, as long as you're running like a Wusa and Alicia, you kind of counter everything as long as you've got the cards. Ganymede can be a bit annoying. He like he wipes out your whole hand. It does cost 6, but I believe, yeah, it decreases the mana cost. So it's, you know, it can be like some of these units, I feel like they need a big balance. Um, like units like the Panda here, he counterattacks when someone's using a skill and then he'll stun that unit. I think that's good, right? I think that's good because like it's only 4 mana costing, but like, it takes proper timing to use it. It's only going to affect the one unit and stuff. Whereas Alicia, if someone's using a unit, like using a skill, and then she counterattacks, she'll just freeze everyone on your team, and they're frozen for a certain amount of time. The auto will just continue autoing, and your team will be the one dying because of something as basic as like you literally can't get a skill out because your whole team just gets frozen, right? So things like that. Certain units that definitely shine at the moment. People have high praise for Artamil. Mine doesn't do too much at the moment. I feel like if I just go back to say the highest, if we're gonna talk like tier list related stuff, I felt like Poseidon was super strong early on, right? Up until like having a control team, it was really powerful. Okay, because the deceleration from Poseidon really strong. But with the move into things like cleanses and immunity, not so much. Perna kind of okay. Like Perna's kind of average. Okay, so like the 6 mana cost can be turned into a 5 mana cost, but kind of average. Someone like Camilla, I've seen Camillas hit really hard, and then I've seen them hit not really hard, and the passive is not translated properly, but it seems to be like a some sort of heal and cleanse for like the line that she's in, so front line or back line. Sierra is really powerful, I think. Especially if you can get a skill stone that drops bombs on people. So the installs 2 bombs on them. Really, really good unit. I feel like if you want to reroll for something, she's a good one to reroll for. The the unicorn, not really something to reroll for. I feel like the skill stone is really good for her though. As far as a cleanser and healer goes, it now only costs 3 mana. You can see that she can also grant immunity to all allies as well. But yeah, Holy Horn, human form, really good. And then she can also turn into this unicorn when she becomes the unit being targeted at the front. So she'll be human form for most of the fight, and then the unicorn will be targeted at the front, right? And this buff, the reflect damage, defense up, crit resist up, it's just kind of icing on the cake because you can actually reflect people to death. But yeah, the most notable units right now are definitely Alicia and Musa. Okay, Zyros, I've seen them hit really hard. He attacks like one line, the front line. I think. I think it's just a front line. Um, Good old Fire Crush here from Tessarian. Good stun. Zyros just he puts burn on them, burns the opponent's summoner's mana by 1 per defeated enemy, but he just hits really hard. The damage increases when the attack lands as a critical hit. So you stack crit on him and he just hits really hard. I haven't seen Rakan do too much, honestly. He's just kind of subpar. People really talk up Trick of the Wind and Ritesh. Honestly, he hasn't really, as far as my battles go, he hasn't changed up the battle too much. I think if we're going to talk what to reroll for, Dragon's Fury, this guy just kind of counterattacks. Ragdoll, kind of lackluster. If you're going to reroll, that is. Wusa, Alicia. These units need balancing. However, a lot of these like common and rare units, I think are definitely ones that you're going to be using a lot. Like units like Thrain, just absolutely like they just nuke people when your backline starts getting low. If you can get his skill off, he can also stun as well. But as I was saying, the meta has kind of moved towards bruises and just like Woosa buff with the Water Fairy healing. Like I've got the Skill Stone, grants invincible and immunity effects on the ally target if the HP is like fully recovered from Purify. And she heals a lot. She's just a normal, and she will just basically max heal the front line, like the unit up the very front. You've got units like Megan that have Toad Poison. So I've got the skill stone for initial mana by increases initial mana by 2 at the start of the game. But a lot of people I've noticed are running this Toad Poison, which if someone tries to do a buff to save the entire team, all of a sudden, boom, the buff won't happen and beneficial effects will be blocked. So she's pretty strong. She's pretty strong when you've got that skill. There is a cooldown time. It doesn't tell us what it is though. Like I think that when it comes to this beta, I would like to see more description. I would like to be told what things do, right? If that like is it shouldn't be too much to ask for, right? I feel like they've got like the guide that I went over in my previous video, right? In the news section. They need to update with English screenshots. If they're going to put a guide out, they need to update with English screenshots and go more in depth for certain things. Like I feel like a lot of it is, as much as I like the battle system, I feel like the UI, the navigation, there's no rune inventory management system here. If I come to say, let's go to Poseidon, right? See, I've got Swift on him at the moment. Um, this is how you access your runes. And you come to this and you can select and deselect runes. But like, if I want to sell a bunch of runes, as far as I'm aware, I just have to do them individually, right? Like this is one way to get extra mana. That is 5 mana. So it doesn't seem like selling runes is even encouraged. It seems like what's encouraged is to buy mana using the crystals because five mana per rune when you also need to use them to upgrade the rune. Like if we come back into here and I go to upgrade a rune, right? I want to power up a rune. This is a heroic rune, so it's not even the highest tier. That was 4% for a white rune. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. If I upgrade with one of these yellow runes, you can see it's another 20%. But this is just the first level. This is just for +0 to +1 guys, right? If I was to use another heroic rune, it'll go straight up. But then once I do that, I'll it goes to see it only went up 50% instead, right? 50%. Now it's higher, 34%, and so on and so forth. These runes got to like +15, and you need to use like you need to use mana for them as well. It just feels like really restrictive. Yes, we can summon the monsters, but I feel like people that are going to have the early advantage, it's going to be those that are able to build like a good couple sets of runes from the get-go. It's even to the point where like I kind of feel like maybe when you start the game, if you can kind of just force your way through duel mode early on, this is a free to play, because whales obviously are going to be able to just go to the shop, buy crystals, and then just summon, 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 right? They're going to get mana from summoning. They're going to be able to just buy mana here, and they're not going to have an issue. The only thing they need to worry about is, say, handing shards over to the Alliance trading post. You can come to the Alliance shop, and you can buy mystical dust and enhancement scrolls here for upgrading your runes. Okay, really good that they have that feature, but it's definitely going to be a whales game. Definitely going to be a whales game. Um, I hit 16, but I feel like if you can grind out to 18 from the start before you really start investing in runes in the territory here, like I feel like maybe when you start craft some swift runes, beta runes, or whatever, the low tier ones, just get the set bonuses on your units, and then just grind, grind, grind until you hit 18, and just keep saving your dust. Just keep saving your mystical dust. That's kind of what I'm thinking might be the best way to go when it comes to this. And then once you can craft some high runes, you can just invest heavily into some high runes. Because the way that this game is, if you're not throwing down money from the get-go, I feel like you need to be as efficient as possible. And if you're not as efficient as possible, you're going to lose a lot. And if you lose a lot, you're not going to be able to actually grind out cards as much, which means less mana, less rewards. Like it's very, very punishing to anyone. This game is very punishing as far as progression goes to anyone that actually loses. Like if you can't maintain consistent wins, then your progress is going to be like maybe 20% out of 100%. And everyone else that is getting those early wins is just going to keep powering through. As I feel like the game needs a lot more balance. The common monsters can be useful. The rare monsters can be useful. Like I was running Camilla, people are running Seek still. Like Seek hits hard, guys. Colleen heals well. Everyone's running Bernard, or pretty much almost everyone. And those that aren't are running Megan, yeah, Megan. They call her Megan in this one. I've seen Ramagos wipe out half a team, even at the higher ranks at the moment. That's just how the game is at the moment. People are running Shannon. Like people are running these low level like these low tier monsters as well. So don't feel overly neglected if you don't get a 5 star. But like really the only 5 stars worth noting right now is Wusa and Alicia. Alicia is just kind of broken. Alicia's just kind of broken because like as long as you sit there and counter attack, you won't lose. As far as like these other units go, I mean Artamil is not game breaking. People were trying to put Monkey as being really really powerful. Mine kind of sucks. Mine kind of sucks. I've tried a variety of things. The runes on him aren't built up though. But I've seen these things. I've seen Monkey do like 3k crits and just one-shot units. Like I've seen other people's monkeys and it is a really powerful unit. I feel like pretty much every unit here, at least early on, can be utilized really well, especially if you're taking advantage of combinations and counterattacks properly. Even this lizard, if we come down to here and we have a look at this lizard, this guy puts defense down 3 on an enemy, right? And he'll inflict continuous damage by the number of harmful effects granted to the enemies within the same line. So if you've thrown out, say, like Beretta's debuff skill, right? Some continuous damage. And the front line now has 8 continuous damage. Apparently, this guy's going to put extra continuous damage based on the number of harmful effects granted to the enemies, based on like 8 other debuffs. I don't know what that amount is. I haven't actually experimented with this guy too much. But he also will put defense down 3 on the enemy, which is pretty huge because a unit like Galleon will do defense down 2 and attack buff 2. And I believe, where's Royd? So Royd's going to be pretty handy for you early on too. Yeah, so defense down 2. So a lot of other units only do defense down 2. A couple do have 1 as well. But yeah, like these early game units are going to be very helpful. Soha was super helpful even at level 7. She's super squishy for me. But stealing those buffs from Rusa, very helpful. Sierra will just delete buffs. I feel like Sierra is a super strong unit as well. But Alicia is just kind of broken right now. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the current state of the game. The video is a bit long. I was only going to make it about 12 minutes or so. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the other areas are fine, but there's just like they need to work on the UI. We need like a rune management system where I can just be like, okay, rune, go in, sell off my runes, upgrade my runes individually, instead of having to go monster, click in, blah 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 blah, right? Click on rune info, see? Like I just feel like in this day and age that I'd like to see a game where there was some effort put into the user interface, make it user friendly, okay, when it comes to these games, because I feel like the combat itself, while it probably needs a bit of tweaking, is solid, right? I feel like it's got potential. But as far as management and things like that go, like it's gonna be a Wales game, and it's just like it's not user friendly when it comes to actually managing our monsters and navigating through the game and just things like that. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. I will still also be playing it on release just to, give it another what for, see what changes they come up with during the downtime. Closed beta was pretty fun, but you know, at the moment there are much better games out there, and I feel like that if this game wants to compete, they're going to need to heavily advertise it and make some tweaks to definitely to the balance and the friendliness of the user interface. Anyways, catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.